Okay, back. This is part 2 of episode 3. I'm just gonna make it so that like each session I do, I'm just gonna record. Like if I record it, it's one episode, or each session is one episode, and then I try to cut it up so that I don't make it too boring for the people that are listening. Um, yeah. I Also, if people are interested on, I'll if people are interested in coming onto this, which I highly doubt, but if you really are, like, let me know. I want to start getting people. Um, we can discuss what you want to do. Just talk. Uh, we can talk and drink. Um, Sadly, we can't talk and smoke. I've stopped smoking weed. Still on that, my second month in, so let's fucking go. Most people thought I would fall back into this, and honestly, I thought I was going to too in some way, but so far I haven't, and I'm fucking proud of myself. So that's good. You gotta be happy about some of the shit you do in your life. Um, yeah. So let's just talk about some things that. Because I was in the train, if you listen to the part one I got back today. So, I don't know, I was thinking about a couple things. One thing I was thinking about is kind of a jump into. But I want to discuss, like, I'll ask you this question, and I'll let you think about it. Do you consider your life a movie or a storyline? Okay. Just think about it for a sec. Okay. So, whatever your answer is, just take that in. So, I think that I mean, yes, it's a storyline. It's your storyline. It's the way that you want to live your life, right? But I also think if you view it this way, like if you view it in the way of a storyline, I feel like it also allows you to do more things that you want. Like for example, I moved to the Netherlands, right? Like most people might consider that like it's a pretty bold move, but it's like in reality for me it's not. I mean, I've moved a lot in my life earlier. Like I was born in England. When I was 3, I moved to Washington State. Then when I was 7, I moved to Pennsylvania. And then when I was 12, I moved to San Diego, and then when I was 18, I moved here. So I'm already used to moving. Like when in Washington State, because I didn't remember England, but when I was in Washington State, and my parents told me and my sister like, yeah, we're gonna be moving to Pennsylvania. Like, dude, at 7, I fucking cried. Like I cried I cried a lot. I cried a fucking lot. But the second time when I moved from Pennsylvania to San Diego, like I had almost no reaction. I was like, oh, okay. Like if we need to move, then we need to move. Like once you do that once, that feeling goes away. Like that angst of like, holy fuck, my life is going to change. Like that goes away because you just at a certain point you realize like it doesn't matter. So when I was deciding on coming to the Netherlands, like first that angst was gone. Like I didn't care about how far away from home I was. It was more of like, is this a place I want to be? Like, is this a place I want to live in? And I thought to myself, like, my life is a movie, like, and at the end, right? Like, let's say you die. And before you go to heaven or hell or whatever the fuck you believe in, you show up in this room, right? Like kind of like the Harry Potter platform 9 3/4, where Dumbledore just kind of pops up. You show up into a room, right? You show up into a room, and you just watch your life. Like everything that has happened. Like imagine you saw it from a third person point of view. I mean, you would cringe. You would cringe so hard, right? But you're sitting there watching your life and you're thinking, is my life actually that fucking interesting? Like, am I doing shit where, like, if I were to go into a room, I would be like, yeah, this life I've lived is better than most. And if you view it from that way, like, not that you're trying to overstep on people, but more just like you're living a life that is fulfilling and interesting enough to you to a certain point where you're just like you're okay with it, right? Now, I'm not saying that you need to like move to the fucking Netherlands. Like, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like do things that are gonna fucking throw you off. Like, the only way you advance in life is conflict, right? Like when I get drunk, but also when I'm sober, like sometimes I'll get into debates or conversations, which is fine. Like having a good debate once in a while, like over some, like, for example, like in my study, I was talking with three Germans about how Germany could have won World War II if they didn't go into Russia, if they fucking weren't dumbasses, probably tried to not provoke USA for a long period of time. Like, that type of conversation, that's just nice to have, right? But the only way, and the only way you move forward, and the only things that you actually memorize or know about is conflict, right? Like, if you were to think about all the memories you have, they were all things that involved a lot of emotion, a lot of things going on. Like, there was stress on you. You had to deal with the situation. Like, that's what creates your memories, right? So, like, if you, I mean, not all of them, but I'm like the major ones, right? Like the ones that you clearly remember. Those are moments that you just go, yeah, like I really remember that. That was it was a weird situation. It's like that's what you remember. So it's like, why wouldn't you want to bring conflict into your life? It sounds weird, but conflict can be helpful, right? Like, it really, it can produce things. It's not going to be fun, right? Things get worse before they get better. But in if you want to not only enjoy your life but also improve your life, you have to maybe not create conflicts, but you want to, when you do get it, you want to, like, kind of enjoy the ride. Like, realize that this is just another moment in your life that it, like, at a certain point it will be solved. Like, normally, like, in high school, like, fucking my roommate's loud as shit and this mic picks it up, but it's fine. Like, in high school or like secondary school, whatever you want to call it, right? Everyone had a shitload of cringy moments. Like, if you think back to it, you're like, fuck, fuck, fuck. Like, god fucking damn it, was I an idiot, right? But shit, where was I going with that? Oh yeah. So um if you think about those moments, or like, or when those things happen in that time, right? I would always just think to myself, like, in 2 weeks, I'm not gonna feel this way. 2 weeks, it's gonna be over. It's gonna be done. I'll think back to it. It'll be cringy, but all I can do is learn from it, right? And I started doing this like the last year of high school because all the 3 years were kind of fucked. But if I did this last year, yo, that shit helped so much. Like, if I did something stupid, I'd just be like, yo, that person that had that weird interaction with, they're gonna forget. Maybe if they, this is like some late night thoughts, but even if they remember it, like, okay, 10 years down the road, you guys might have a beer and one of you might mention it, or they forget about it. And then, and if they go tell other people, it's like, all right, mate, you go do your shit. Go talk. Go waste your own time talking about me, please. I beg you. Like, do it. The more time you spend talking about me is more time that I've made you waste, and I love wasting people's time. So go ahead. But Yeah, but it's just one of those things that you just gotta kind of shove aside, right? Just fuck it. So, what the fuck was the original rant? Oh yeah, movies. Like, basically the point I want. Oh yeah, I'm not even halfway through this. It's already been 10 minutes. I'm not even halfway through the shit. Though maybe I'm probably more than halfway through the shit. But basically, what I want to say. So first, is your life a movie? If it's not, then that's fine. Then you might have another view. You might have another set of values or philosophy that you go by and how you live your life. I'm not saying that this has to be your main philosophy, but I'm saying if you keep in mind of this perspective, then you worry a lot less. Like you realize like I'm gonna be one day sitting in a dark room watching my life, and all I can do is just look at it and be, was it was it interesting? Was it interesting enough to the point where I'm gonna be sitting down with some popcorn and a fucking Slurpee, and I'm gonna enjoy the shit out of this. It's gonna be cringy, but I'm gonna be like, huh, that was a good moment, or fuck, that was a shitty moment, right? Gotta create those moments. And another thing I've also fucking realized is, I kind of fucking forgot something there. Oh fuck, what did I forget? There was a whatever. But another thing I want to mention is also, uh, the roles that people play in their lives, right? Like for example, my German friend. I asked him like, what was your first impression of me? And he said, fat, lazy American. And I mean, I can't say anything against that. Like it's true. Like I'm a fat, lazy American. Like or well, Dutch, American, English, whatever the fuck. I'm a lazy fat motherfucker, right? Okay. We all can agree on this. So, and I just realized, okay, well, there's a lot of lazy people in this world. But laziness doesn't just exist because there's no benefit. Like, laziness has benefit to society, right? Like, Bill Gates said, like, just get lazy people to do the job for you. Which sounds weird, but, I mean, that makes you lazy, but, or, yeah, they'll figure it out or something like that, right? It's like, there's a benefit to being lazy. So the question is, do I want to be lazy? If I don't want to be lazy, then I have to work at not being lazy, right? I have to move into a direction where I'm not lazy. But I'm not saying that I want to continue being lazy, but let's say I still want to kind of weave down the road with that sort of mentality, right? I wanna walk down the road with that mentality. That's fine. I have to figure out how I'm going to use it, right? Like I have to find benefit of that laziness to me. I can't just sit there and expect nothing. Like if I don't do anything, nothing will happen. Actually no, that's not even true. If you do nothing, things will go worse. There's a saying that I was listening to a podcast, even though you're listening to a podcast now. I was listening to a podcast, whatever, I'm gonna it's fucking stupid, I know. Listening to a podcast, and this guy goes, for those who have nothing, everything will be taken. Those who have everything, or those who have everything will be given, right? Those who have nothing, those who have nothing, everything will be taken. Those who have everything will be given. So, in order for you to do something, you have to have something, right? You can't. It's like if you have $0, you can't start a business. In fact, you get fucked over because you can't buy anything. Your situation becomes worse. If you have $1,000, you can do something with those $1,000. You can, I don't know, you can sell something, create something. I don't know. You can buy something online and you can start an online business, do something, right? So, and that's kind of the way I want my laziness to be something that I can use to get everything. if I choose to do that. If I don't choose to do that, right, I choose to be still the same personality, but I choose to improve myself, that would probably be the ideal situation, right? I want to get to a point where not only do I still kind of have that laziness in me, because that laziness brings a benefit, right? Like the way I am, like the way that I am is because of that laziness. But I also don't want to be lazy. Like that's not a good thing. So I kind of want to get a mixture. I want to get a good, you know, I want that Nesquik shit. I want that good mixed shit. And and this also begs the questions like going back to the original conversation about like roles or the roles in a storyline, right? This is my storyline, this is my role. How can I best fit my role in order to improve the story, to make the story better? That's the ultimate goal. But also the thing I also noticed that about like people at the study and stuff like that, right? Is that a lot of them they don't fit or they choose not to fit the roles that they've been given, right? It's like if you are someone, basically be yourself. I mean, literally what this whole explanation is basically just talking about being yourself, but there's a deeper. I'm trying to get it into a deeper thing, so you think about it, and it's not just. Yeah, that's another thing. I'll get back to that later, but basically, a lot of people don't. They like everyone has multiple roles that they could possibly go, all the potential things that they could do, and that they also be good at, right? Not just that they could do, but also they enjoy, that they could be good at. Those are a number of things. But some people, for some reason, decide not even to pick any of those options. They set aside all the options of things that they're good at. They set all the options aside at the things that they like. They set aside all the options that have both of those things, and then they go do something that has nothing. It's not their role. It's not what they're necessarily. It's not what their potential allows them to be good at. And I can't like say, or I couldn't tell people like what they should go do, but I can tell by how they act and about the things that they speak about and stuff like that. It's like you obviously don't enjoy necessarily what you're doing. So why don't you go do the things you want to enjoy? Like, so for the first week I'm gonna have to give this background. So just give me a sec. So in the first week of school, we have student start week. You basically get super drunk, and there was a festival. I went with that festival. There was I signed up with this thing. There was a group. All those people were really awesome. And there was this leader. This leader works at a cafe in the city. So a couple weeks ago, he sends a message into, and this was like what almost 7 months ago. So 7 months ago is when I last talked to him, right? So then he puts in the group chat from that group, and he's like, "Hey, I'm working. It's not very busy. It's decent weather. Why don't you guys come and drink some coffee?" And I had just woken up. I'd actually drank the night before, so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I want some coffee. I'll go get some coffee. Walk over there, start talking. Or I get there. He's like, here, come inside. So I sit next to the counter where he's working. He makes me a cup of coffee. We start talking about things. And somehow we come up to the conversation of what he wants to do in the next couple of years. Because he has a girlfriend. And the girlfriend wants to travel. And let me back up. So he has a girlfriend. She's studying. She's busy, but she wants to travel. And he's worried about what he's going to do in the future. Like, he wants to provide for her because he's maybe not financially necessarily in the best situation, or not where he wants to be, right? He's not where he wants to be. So he's like, I want to travel with her, but I don't think I can afford it. And I told him, I'm like, look, mate, I've moved a lot, I've traveled a lot, and honestly, normally when you do those things, back to the conflict, you create moments in your life where the learning process is so quick. You learn so much stuff. It's the best thing you could do. If you don't do it, then if you don't do it, you're not wasting your life, but you're definitely missing out on experiences. So I told him, I'm like, you can travel for 6 months, come back, and you can restart and build up everything you need to, right? It's like, are you in a situation that you can, like, if you just dropped everything, would that be a big deal? Like, he said no. I was like, exactly. So save up some money, travel with your girlfriend, because that's something that you're not always going to be able to do, nor will you always want to do that. So just do it. And he was like, yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks for the advice. And then I was like, okay, time to pick, because I had like 2 coffees and a nice tea. He was like, yeah, mate, you don't have to pay for it. And I was like, fuck, like, exactly what I mean, right? I randomly decided, I just woken up from a hangover. A guy I hadn't talked to in 6 months, messaged in a group chat, do you want coffee? For some reason, I still don't know, I decided to go do it. Got there. We had a great conversation for about an hour, talking about different things going on in each other's lives. Next thing you know, he's thanking me for some of the advice I've given him, as well as giving me 2 free cups of coffee and a nice tea, right? Hey, that shit right there, that's just great. Like, that's a perfect example of not only doing something random, getting an experience out of it that changes you. Even though I was the one trying to help him make a decision, that moment of him thanking me for that in itself created a moment for me, which I'm now saying to you, which I'm not sure if this helps you in any way, but it could. It might trigger something in your thinking or something like that, right? And I got 2 free cups of coffee and a nice tea out of it. Boom. Like, that's kind of what I mean. Like, one of the reasons why I decided to go is because I was like, my life's a movie. And right now, there's a scene in my movie where I wake up hungover and I go have a cup of coffee. Like, that is, I'm like, you're the director in your film. You're as well as the actor in your film, right? You are also the viewer in your film. You are everything in your film. So try to make the film the best film possible. So that's one of the things I was thinking about on the train today. Damn, that took a long ass time. I even wrapped it back around. I don't even know how the fuck I did that. But anyways, I did that. So don't smoke, kids. Jesus. Okay. We're at 24 minutes, about 24 minutes. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Oh yeah. Maybe no. We'll keep it light for now. I want to talk about the N-word, but we'll do that another time because I still kind of want people to like listen to this on a daily basis, and people just like they hear this and they're like, "Yo, we are not talking with that guy, or we are not listening to him." So, you know what? I'll do that either with someone else or on my next podcast because I don't have enough time to go into it. But another interesting thing that I was thinking about was the definition of like hot, ugly, and beautiful, which sounds random, right? But I was thinking about it. Like, all right, if you look at yourself in the mirror, Do you think you're ugly, beautiful, or hot? If you think you're hot, you either must be really hot and people have told you your whole life, or you're bullshitting yourself. If you're beautiful, then you're like mediocre, like you're not fucking ugly, but you're also not a good looking person. Like you're an average Joe. All right, like you're happy with the genes that your parents gave you. Like you're just happy you didn't get an extra chromosome. Like you're chilling, right? Like you're just okay with what you got. And then you got ugly. And ugly is just like they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I see what they mean by that, because it's like I guess you could say beauty is something that doesn't have, or well, no, yeah, you like something that's good looking, like beautiful, is something that has like, not that it doesn't have any imperfections, but it's something that you don't see very often, that you're like, okay, that's nice to look at, that's pleasing for your eyeballs to point at. That's what it is. But like some shit is just ugly. Like some shit you don't want to look at. Like, God, I don't want to. Sometimes you look at things and you're like, God fucking damn it, I don't want to look at that. Like you look at it and you're just you wanna look left, or you wanna look right, or you just wanna close your eyes. Like you don't wanna, like, fuck that shit. So I don't I don't even know where the fuck I was going with this. I was just like, the main thing, like, the this idea spurred from the fact that I was like on Instagram. I was looking at a post and it said like beauty is pain, but I'm like, I feel like beauty requires pain. That's a better way of saying it, because it's like being beautiful is not painful. Like if you're hot, that's not painful. Like you're a good looking person. Like yeah, you still have your individual problems, yada yada yada. You're still an individual. We get it. But let's be honest, you're eye candy. Everyone likes eye candy. Everyone likes looking at you, except the fact that you're good looking. All right? Don't, like, you can complain, but realize that when you're complaining, you have an immediate thing that people would love to have, and that's just being good looking. So, and like ugly people, man, they really got to work for it. Like you know some people out there that you just think, fuck, their life must be hard. I just you look at them and you feel bad. You feel bad. Like I'm not gonna say like I really I don't care. Like okay, I'm not gonna. This is not me apologizing. This is just my viewpoint on this. Like I really don't care. Like even if you're attractive, like honestly, I don't give a fuck. All I think is, damn, you're lucky you didn't get shitty genes. Like that's all I think. Like that's all I think. Like by chances you didn't get shitty genes. And if you're like mediocre, I'm just like, at least you're not bad to look at. And if you're ugly, I'm not that I feel sorry for you, but I look at that. This is gonna sound so wrong. Like I know people are gonna be listening to this. I'm like, damn, he must be judging people. No, it's just like I understand. Like physical appearance is a big part in how people view you and how they act towards you. So this is just an interesting topic to think about, right? It's like I don't know. I'm talking about shit. I like seriously, physical appearance genuinely affects how people view you, and you're going like, "Oh yeah, I know, I know, I know." But it's just like, all right, I'm gonna use this girl in her study as an example, and there's a chance he's listening to this. So if you are listening to this, this was a joke, and I hope that you can realize that it was funny. So I was in a good mood this one morning. Right before class, she walks in, and I started looking at her, and she's like pretty young, but she dresses like a 45-year-old woman, and it's not a diss. It's not a diss on her. Like she looks good dressing like she looks good dressing like a 45-year-old woman, right? And I told her this, and she kind of got upset, and I'm just thinking, like, why would you get upset? Like, it's just the truth. Like, if you told me I dress like a grandpa, I'd be like, yeah, I do. I do dress like a grandpa. That's what I'm going for. Like, I don't know. Like what I'm basically trying to say is, like, the things I say are more. I'm just pointing them out, right? I just look at them and I go, that's there. And then people go, yeah, but you don't always have to do that. I'm like, yeah, but if you don't, then you don't. You're not looking at shit. You're not looking at that ugly motherfucker over there. Like, if you think someone's ugly, then say. I mean, you don't have to say it, and not to their face or to other people, but like, that's something that you think, right? What's the problem with you thinking it? It's like, humans are literally built to judge people. This is another thing that pisses me off, right? Like, everyone judges people. You see someone, and whether you think it, your brain, like, when you consciously think it, your subconscious thinks it as well, right? Like, you are literally programmed to judge other people. Like, that's how you are literally. That's what you're designed to do. That's what your brain is designed. What are the things that it's designed to do? So whether you, like, when you look at a person, you make judgments, like, off of their actions, off of the things that they say, how they look, stuff like that. Like, all those things are how they sound, how they smell. Those are all things that impact your judgment on them. Now, you might think, yeah, I don't really do anything. Like, I still talk to people in general, but it's like, yeah, but still in your brain you have that idea. Whether you think about it or not, it's still there. Like, it's still there. And I'm simply a person who enjoys looking at those judgments and seeing if they're true or not. Like, like, if you're dressed like a 45-year-old woman, you dress like a 45-year-old woman. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, that is what is there. So, oh, and yeah, if you're listening to this, don't worry, you don't look bad. Yeah, so and yeah, so we're at the 33-minute mark again. So I'm gonna end the part two. I feel like I rambled about a couple things. I didn't really make any sense. There was no structure to it. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe it isn't. I didn't do the notes. I just kind of just talked randomly for like 33, almost 34 minutes. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. Then I'm gonna go upload my part one and part two. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this. If you did, again, let me know. Also, if you want to be on the podcast, or I don't know why you would want to, because it's probably going to end your career later on in your life or some shit. But if you do decide to make that decision, please let me know, because I would love for people to come on. You know, I'm genuinely interested in listening to other people and how they view things and stuff like that. I think it would be really interesting. So if you would like that, please let me know. Other than that, thank you for listening, and until next time, see ya.